Change Ministries, and today's going to be a little bit different. I don't know if you guys can hear me because I'm not getting my blue light. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up, please. The park a mess. Oh yeah. So, Arkansas Hot Air Balloon State Championship this weekend. There we go. All right. So things are a little bit chaotic across the street. My normal sitting area it's got people, but because of this hot air balloon event, it reminds me of a dream that happened a couple of years ago. Now, I just want to let you know that the hot air balloons, I already heard them this morning. They require cold weather to rise, to ascend, you know, because there has to be a change in temperature for ascension, right? So they usually fly the hot air balloons in the morning for ascension. Okay, because hot air rises, but if the ambient energy, if the ambient air temperature is hot, well then it won't rise, right? So the hot air balloon event is actually over, but they're still doing the little like festival or something, the little music and different things. So I'm doing something different. Now, back to that dream I had a couple of years ago. I was with Jesus. We were like in San Francisco or something, right? And we were going and we were ministering to people out and about, kind of like where I am right now, just out and about. And Jesus and I were talking to people, and then he pointed to all kinds of hot air balloons. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of hot air balloons ascending, okay? So I think it's suitable and fitting that I hope you guys can hear me. If you can, please click the like. I'm going to be going under a bridge, so my bars are going to probably go down. But anyway, yes, so we were talking about the rapture, and we saw all these hot air balloons going up. And God and Jesus was showing me, okay? So the idea of what a rapture is might not be the same as what most people think. Now, let me get up from under this bridge. Maybe. There we go. The bars went up a little bit. Up. Now I'm up to a 3. Hopefully you can hear me better. Just in case you couldn't hear anything before, let me go ahead and repeat myself. We're having here in my town, we're having a hot air balloon state championship. The hot air balloons already went up. And hey, if you're there, I see I've got a few. Please let me know in the chat. Interact with me a little bit. So let me know if you can hear me. So anyway, and that's causing all kinds of chaos. So there's one bridge, and off in the distance, do you see that crane? That's another bridge. So a lot of construction going on in my town. Anyway, and in dreams, the hot air balloon ascension is the rapture, okay? So that's what it symbolizes. In the news, I know that there's a lot of emotional, a lot of emotions of Charlie Kirk. And, you know, that affects people's emotions, their vibrations, right? It's going to bring you down in the dumps. And that's not good. It also can cause a lot of dis-ease and you know, disrupt. Oh man, my bars went down. I gotta find a place where there's good bars. This sucks. I hope you guys can hear me. You know what? I'm just going to keep moving forward because I know if I can get over there, maybe I can get some good bars. So anyway, up, I went up a little bit. Hello, Zepperi. So now back to Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to talk about him too much. My condolences go out. It's a tragic situation. And, you know, but I always look at the messages in the headlines. I try to read between the lines. Now, Charlie Kirk, I don't know him. I haven't been a follower of him. I just know that a lot of people are hurting in the world because of his passing, because of his, and his assassination. That is terrible, right? Let's see. So, anyway, but what is the message? The message is we are at a turning point. People can choose to go low vibe and be, yes, go inside. Thank you, Mr. Trent. Yes, we can choose to take this situation and be low vibe, or we can choose to ascend to a higher perspective, right? It's a turning point for people. What kind of person are you going to be? Are you going to take the low road, or are you going to take the high road, right? So that's really all I want to talk about concerning Charlie Kirk. I'll tell you that when my son, who is a young man, told me about it, he was very distraught. He was crying, and you know, it's situations like that, because it's situations like this that cause people to look inside. So thank you, Mr. Trent. It does. It causes you to look inside and sort out your feelings, and you know, that's an uncomfortable. And God brings, okay, and we can grow as individuals. So, and what one person sees or thinks is going to be different than another person. We're all at different levels of ascension, and we don't need to be attacking people who are down here. We need to try to ascend more and more people, right? And harsh words do not do that. Harsh words aren't effective. So we've got to find creative ways of reaching out to people without harsh words. All right. So now the real thing I wanted to talk about today is that green comet. Last week, hello, how you doing? Kumar Anshul Fitness. Anyway, oh, by the way, so I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, and I'm almost there, right? And then there's the next step after 100, but first, baby steps, right? And I've got 93 subscribers. If you'd like to subscribe, I appreciate it. So, anyway, back to my dream last week. I shared a dream about a spaceship that looked like Noah's Ark, and I saw something that looked like a comet or a bomb had hit. I didn't see it actually fall. I just saw the kind of like the mushroom cloud afterwards. And it wasn't a big nuclear mushroom cloud, but you could see that something had hit. That dream has a lot of additional symbolism to it. If you would like to check it out, I will, after this video, I'll post it in the comment section, a link to that video from last week where I shared my dream. Now, my rapture dream. Also, immediately following that rapture dream was a false teaching dream that I had. And this exposes the false teachings about the rapture that are all over the place, all right? And in that second dream, I saw a skinned wolf, and I knew intuitively that it was a white wolf. I was at a grocery store, and that is what I saw, all right? And I saw a skinned wolf, which represented, if it was skinned, and I intuitively knew that it had been a white wolf, then that meant that it represents a wolf in sheep's clothing. All right. Now, interesting, and so like, please go check out that Rapture video, because here's the confirmation. When I say something and it has power and it has meaning, and God wants me to say, hey, listen to this lady, she knows what she's talking about, he will confirm it in miraculous ways. All right. And so later on that very same day, right after I shared my dream, in the last dream, I was walking out of a store. To my right, I saw the sun low in the horizon. It was 7 o'clock exactly. The sun was low in the horizon, and because there was haze in the atmosphere, I was able to look directly at the sun, no problem. It looked like a huge glowing orb, orange, a glowing orange orb. I mean, it was beautiful. Like a neon glowing orange orb, okay, in the sky. It was huge. So that was to my right. Then I turned to my left, and I know it's gonna be different for you, okay, but to my left, I turned to my left, and right at the same length, so we're talking about a balance, was almost a full moon. All right, not quite, but almost there, because this dream happened like a day or two before the full moon. All right, but I could see it clearly. And so it was at like the same horizon level as the sun. So I saw the sun, I saw the moon, and then my direction was turned straight forward, and a white wolf walked up to me and sniffed me. All right, and it was domesticated, but it was a wolf. And it walked right up to me. No one else was around at that moment. And it came up and it sniffed me. This was God's confirming that my message that I shared earlier that morning is true. Because when God wants me to speak something and he wants people to believe me, he gives me powerful confirmations, okay? So anyway, that white wolf, I took pictures of it because it started, after it sniffed me, then it started interacting with other people. And I took pictures, and then its owner ran up to fetch her wolf, okay? And we talked. And what is interesting is that white wolf had the name Luke. And in my dream interpretation, earlier that day, I shared a Bible passage about Luke. I mean, not about Luke, from the book of Luke, all right? Where Jesus is talking about how, like in the days of Noah. Why did I share that? Because I saw a spaceship that looked like Noah's Ark, all right? So anyway, God is confirming all of these things. Well, now let's talk about this comet. So NASA is talking about how, I saw a headline, okay? I didn't get it from the horse's mouth, but a headline came up this morning that said NASA is admitting that the green comet, not comment, but comet, is starting to look more and more like a spaceship, okay? So, when that is confirming what I was talking about last week. I had the dream about the spaceship, and now this green comet is starting to look like a spaceship. All right. Now, if you go through the Apocrypha, you're going to find that God will make signs. Jesus wasn't the only person where there was a sign in the sky that he was born. All right, Jesus wasn't the only one. There was a sign when Abraham was born, okay? And I think it's in the book of Jashar that you will find that sign. So there was a sign in the heavens, and Nimrod was the king during that time down in Mesopotamia, okay? Down in the Middle East thousands of years ago. And he was a little bit of a ruthless king, and his wise men said that that sign revealed that that this baby that had been born was going to destroy him. All right, that his descendants were going to kill him. And anyway, and Abraham's descendants did eventually kill him. Okay, so but back then people lived for hundreds and hundreds of years. So anyway, so what Nimrod did was he tried to destroy Abraham. All right. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that story. What I'm trying to say is God will do miraculous things in the heavens before he brings about drastic change. All right. So, and those people, all right, like it's the birth of something. All right. So anyway, now I'm going to share something personal. Like I've had the dream with Jesus about the hot air balloons, and apparently this is the topic today because as you saw in that sign, we're having the state championship here in my town this weekend. So anyway, that's the topic. Rapture. All right. In 2024, on September 3rd, I had a dream, because this is God's soap opera. I'm going to share some of my personal dreams, okay? I had a dream that I was in an ambulance with an individual who was just sitting in the driver's seat and not moving. He was totally non-responsive. Now, I know who this person is. It was not an avatar. I knew a lot of times God will give me dreams with avatars. No, I knew who this person was. And all right, and here I was sitting in the passenger seat of the ambulance holding a naked baby. All right, and we were just parked there doing nothing. This represented, the ambulance represented that I and this man were supposed to be first responders. We were supposed to do something with our relationship, okay? It was supposed to do something, but it was doing nothing because this guy over here, the guy who was in the driver's seat, wasn't doing squat, all right? He wasn't interacting with me. So I take this baby and I go and I sit on the tailgate of the ambulance, just trying to, you know, I was bored. So I was playing with this baby and a glow in the dark green comet, it's not comet, ball. It's linked to the comet, okay? This glow in the dark green ball was, I had it in my hand, I had the baby on my lap, and I was bouncing the ball up and down, trying to play with the baby, all right? And then a cop came, an undercover cop came up to me and said, I am arresting you for 20 days. And I said, why? I just want to play with my baby. And he said, in a very sympathetic way, that's what I'm trying to help you do. Now in Hebrew, why 20 days? You know, God doesn't do that for nothing. In Hebrew, the number 20 is also the kaf. It's a letter and a number, and it has a symbolism to it, and it is the Paleo Hebrew letter kind of looks like this. It looks like a hand, all right? It's where we get our letter C, okay? Anyway, and it means 20. So it has something to do with the hand, all right? The hand. Now, my name in Hebrew, my legal name, if you read it, if it's spelled one way, but you're reading it backwards because you're reading it in Hebrew, it means our hand, okay? So there's deep symbolism in this. So God is showing a link between me, that glowing glow in the dark ball, and this baby, okay? That was the end of the dream. So anyway, 20 days later, someone I know, who did not know this dream, that I had this dream. He posted something that had a green glowing orb at his, he was shirtless, like that baby was shirtless. That baby was naked actually. But anyway, he was shirtless and he had a glowing green orb right at the waist level. And his thumbnail said, "Game begins." And it said September 23rd. Well, guess what? This was exactly 20 days after I had that dream. So I knew that this guy was linked to me and the idea of this green ball, and there was some kind of a strange link. So anyway, so here we are. Now this happened in September last year. If we took that day, September 3rd, and the September 23rd, and there's the female energy and the masculine energy, and we meet it in the middle, what's the day? It would be September 13th, okay? Now on September 13th, there was, that was a Friday last year. Today, by the way, is September 13th, so I'm feeling inspired to share this story. It's what we're talking about today. So on September last year, it was a Friday. And so many people are afraid of the idea of Friday the 13th, right? Because we have been programmed to be afraid of that. You know, there's scary things that happen on Friday the 13th in history. We've got movies that are that talk about, you know, that are scary. So anyway, I know humanity has been conditioned to be afraid of Friday the 13th or the number 13th period, okay? But actually the number 13, it represents the divine feminine. And every nation needs, biblically, we're talking about biblically, okay? Every nation has a feminine energy in it that is the 13th energy. Now let me tell you what I'm talking about. So there was Jesus, who had 12 disciples, and what? And Mary, who was the 13th disciple, okay? She was the 13th. So they don't talk about her, but she was still there, and she was a big player in his story. So that's one example. Then you look at the children of Jacob. He had 12 sons and a 13th child who was a girl. All right. Now, so here we are on September 13th. If we took the feminine energy of my dream and the masculine energy of this man's thumbnail, and you go right there in the center, that is September 13th. And when you mix masculine and feminine energy, guess what you get? You get conception. All right, we're thinking to higher levels of thinking. Okay, symbolism. Can you read between the lines? So there's the conception of something. All right. Now, 40 weeks from that conception point, 40 weeks out, was June 20th, which was the summer solstice. Okay, and so when you think about the sun, the sun had the longest days. All right, so so that was a significant marker. That was like an astrological it was like a confirmation of the importance of that connection. Okay, it's just the astrological witness. All right. So anyway, here we are now, a year later, and that green ball, that comet, has just turned green. That interstellar comet that has come into our atmosphere has just turned green. All right? It did it about 24 hours ago, ish, about a day and a half ago. So which was on Friday. It was a year from when we played. Now, yesterday was Friday, okay? And remember, I had the connection would have been on Friday, the 13th. So you gotta give it some wiggle room. We're currently this year, the 13th is a Saturday. Last year it was a Friday. So on Friday, it was turning green. All right. So what does that mean? Well, God, just like that white wolf came up to me, God is confirming my words. Okay? There's a sign in the sky, like when Jesus was born. There's a sign in the sky, like when when Abraham was born. There's signs everywhere that God is going to bring drastic change to humanity. All right? Change isn't fun. It can be scary. People don't like change, but it's necessary. All right? Because we must evolve. We evolve. All right? If think of the movie Matrix, right? The same program or the operating system that ran the Matrix had to be uploaded a couple of different times, right? Why? Because it's time for a change. People don't want to be stuck in the same box. They need a new experience, all right? And so now God is giving us a new understanding and of the reality that we live in, okay? It's going to, because humanity's consciousness has elevated to the point that we can receive it, okay? Thousands of years ago, they didn't have the, we knew that if we let go of an apple, it was gonna fall to the earth. We understood that. But was it defined? No, we didn't have the definitions, we didn't have the terminology to express the things we saw, humanity as a whole, okay? Now we have defined things. And when you define things, well, then you can work with it, all right? You can work with it. So humanity has evolved, and now we're ready for something new, and God is bringing us something new. So when I talk about we have evolved, this is a sense of rapture. Now here's the problem. You've got, because we do live in, we have our emotions that affect us in different things. Sometimes there will be world events that will bring us back down. And that's what we need to be careful of, okay? We have to be careful of those things that bring us back down because it stunts our growth. So events like Charlie Kirk, you know, his passing, if we allow our emotions to get the best of us, then we can go into our lower beastly behaviors, right? When we're not thinking clearly, when we're letting our emotions run rampant. So anyway, and that is what stunts ascension. We can't grow. And yet we need those lows for higher ascension, okay? Because when we take those bad events, it's like I will tell you, years ago, if somebody that I absolutely adored online had been shot and murdered publicly, it would have really traumatized me, and it would have made me angry, and it would have damaged me for a long time. But now I can see it. I know where many other people are with their emotions because I've been there, okay? I've been there. And, but now I can guide them and say, okay, let's use this as a healing. What can we learn from this? Well, guess what? We can learn that humanity is at a turning point. Are you going to let your emotions drag you down? Or are you going to think level-headedly, help humanity heal, and so that we can all ascend together? Okay? So why did Charlie Kirk get assassinated. I wasn't going to go into this, but it's where I feel led right now. So he was divisive. And when you cause division, you create enemies. All right? And some of those enemies can get triggered and they want to destroy you. So it's best not to be divisive, to actually be a problem solver. It's easy to see that there is a problem and to identify the problem, but how do you choose to use that information? Do you want to attack or do you want to try to heal? Okay? And right now, we're at the point where people are tired of the attacks and we want to heal from it. It's a turning point. All right? So, Charlie Kirk's passing does mark a huge opportunity for advancement for those who choose not to let their lower emotions bring them down, but actually want to help heal. Okay, and that's all I really want to say about that. But yes, we are at a turning point, and that green comet in the sky is a sign that that it's time for me and this baby to come out of our prison, our and bring healing. It started with me in an ambulance. I was in a relationship, I had a connection with a person that wasn't wanting to bring healing. Okay? So God was bringing a new direction for me, was giving me a new opportunity. And now, not now, but I know that God wants my job assignment with this other individual, the new person, to be one of healing. And anyway, that's all I have to say. I just want to thank everyone for listening to the end. God is amazing. This is a confirmation for me so that I know what direction to move in for my life. And, God is amazing. This is, he will, if you will reach out to God, he will communicate with you. All right? Oh man, I see that I'm at 1 bar. I hope that this gets recorded. I really, really do. Anyway, that stinks. If you got this, please like, please subscribe, and thank you for participating. My name is Wendy, and we're all living in the winds of change.